purpose of today's hearing is to review statutory pay-as-you-go, PAYGO, and examine the President's proposal to renew it. Initially, we had planned this hearing for last Thursday, and I would like to thank both our witnesses and our ranking member, Mr. Ryan, for their cooperation in helping us reschedule it for today. At the outset of the 1990s, Congress passed the Budget Enforcement Act to ensure that the Budget Summit Agreement was carried out. Among its provisions was a rule that we colloquially called pay-as-you-go, PAYGO for short. Our critics disdained our resort to budget process. They accused us of dodging the hard choices we had to make if we were going to wipe out the deficit. But by the end of the 1990s, the budget was in surplus for the first time in 30 years, and it was clear that process rules like PAYGO played a big part in our success. Republicans were in the majority in 2002 when the BEA expired, and they chose not to reinstate PAYGO, knowing it would impede passage of their tax cut agenda. Without the process rules, the budget plunged from a surplus of $236 billion in the year 2000 to a deficit of $413 billion in the year 2004. When Democrats took back the House, the reinstatement of PAYGO was on the top of our agenda. We made PAYGO a rule of the House the first day we convened the 110th Congress. 2 weeks ago, the President proposed a bill to make PAYGO statutory, and last week that bill was introduced with over 150 co-sponsors as a starting point toward making statutory PAYGO part of our budget process. The Obama administration and the current Congress have inherited a colossal deficit, swollen this year to accommodate needed recovery measures. And as these measures help pull us out of the slump, we need to refocus our attention on the longer-term fiscal fate of this country and this government. Earlier this month, Chairman Bernanke told our committee that the long-run fiscal path is simply not sustainable, and witness after witness comes to us bearing the same message. Statutory PAYGO works because it reins in new entitlement spending and new tax cuts. Both tend to be long-lasting. They're easy to pass and hard to repeal. By insisting on offsets and deficit neutrality, PAYGO buffers the bottom line. Its terms are complex, but at its core, it's a common-sense rule that everyone can understand. When you're in a hole, stop digging. We share the administration's commitment to fiscal discipline and believe that statutory PAYGO will put greater rigor into the budget process. To help us understand the proposed legislation, our first witness will be no stranger to this committee. He's the former CBO director and now the OMB director, Peter Orszag. Then on the second panel, we've lined up additional experts who are old friends of the Budget Committee as well. Robert Greenstein from the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, Doug Holtz-Aiken, who is also a previous director of CBO, and we had originally planned for Alice Rivlin to testify. She was not able to be here due to the schedule change, but if there's no objection, we'll make her statement part of the record. Before turning to Director Orszag for his testimony, let me turn to Mr. Ryan for any opening statement that he may wish to make.